Now, this is Apple stock, pre-market, $245 a share. Bear in mind, please, that that stock has gone up by 50%, by a half, this calendar year. Come on in, tech analyst Beth Kindig. Why are you negative on Apple after it's gone up 50% this year?
Thanks, Stuart. Apple is a company that has phenomenal cash flow. It's clearing over $250 billion a year in annual revenue. The question that investors and analysts need to ask is, when was Apple's peak? Mobile industry analysts are calling for a contraction of the smartphone market. They're calling for a 2% contraction. That means there are going to be 2% fewer smartphones next year than there were this year. Apple is not immune to these effects. In fact, we're seeing double-digit declines in Apple's smartphone business, negative 21% in March, negative 13% in June. These are double-digit declines from the biggest revenue segment of the world's most valuable company.
Okay, understood.
I think this is,
now, couldn't the revenue from services make up for any shortfall in revenue on iPhones?
That's a great question. I think Apple, as stated, Apple has a lot of cash. It can pull off many successful pivots. The thing to keep in perspective is we're talking about the iPhone here. Can lightning strike twice? The iPhone is Apple's best growth driver in history. It may be one of the best growth drivers we've ever seen in technology. It was responsible for $165 billion in revenue last year. Compare that to services at $40 billion. There's a huge gap there, and I think what the market is being a little overly optimistic about is, can there be a synchronistic handoff between the iPhone and services? And I think that's being a little bit overly optimistic.
Okay.
It's going to take some time to absorb those declines.
Can you tell us your price target? If it's $245 now, where is it in by the end of the year or 6 months?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it goes back to the fact that Apple's peak year was 2018. I don't think we're going to see those iPhone sales and that revenue again for some time, with or without an earnings beat. Apple will decline this year. So I would keep it under the 2018 price of $220. In fact, I think we will see Apple eventually at $190.
Beth, thanks very much indeed. I'm just going to break away briefly because Dennis Muhlenberg has just arrived on Capitol Hill.